What was it, 25 feet tall and 70 degrees?
I think it was 75 feet tall and 90 degrees.
It's probably what it looked like.
It was scary. I tell you what, it looked tall from the bottom looking up, and it was even taller from the top looking down.
Welcome to the Rad Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Donaldson, and a super fan of the movie, probably like you. In this podcast, I will be interviewing the cast of the film, some of the writers, and some notable fans. You can watch this podcast as a video podcast on YouTube or listen to it anywhere you listen to podcasts. Please consider liking and subscribing and share this with your rad fan friends. In this episode, I'm interviewing Hollywood Mike Miranda, the guy that crashed on a hill track twice. There's a reason for that, and we go into that in the interview. And we're old friends. We've been around a while, so we talk about his shenanigans on set and everywhere else, and what he has going on now, but also how he got involved with the movie and how he almost wasn't. His sponsor didn't want him to go. But we get into all that in this episode, and hopefully you like it. Like and subscribe if you can. And without further ado, here's Mike. Hollywood Mike Miranda. How are you, man?
Man, I am fat and sassy.
You're looking great, man.
Dude, I'm feeling it's Christmas. This is Christmas season.
Oh, perfect. You get to be Santa.
God, dude, I am. I'm Santa in about usually 2 or 3 Christmas parties.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's always fun. Always fun. I love doing it.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, you started out, you were a top-level pro racer with some of the best style ever. Just because, I mean, you know, how many times did I see you in BMX action doing some just beautiful jump?
Thank you, John Cruz, for being my influence. Yeah, you know what? Very lucky to have a great BMX career, but more lucky to have all the friends and the great positive influences that I had. And jumping was the whole reason. I mean, I raced because it took me to different places to go jumping, if I'm being honest. I love it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And still do to this day. Yeah, I ride my bike just so I can jump.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So,
but thank you, Tony. That's awesome. I remember you from way back when, you know, working with the magazine. It was always a pleasure to be around you and see you. You know, you're a BMX brother, and love it, man. Love it.
That's awesome. I still, one of my favorite stories, and I still tell this to this day. We were at a national in Peoria, Illinois. And was it GT that gave you their full-size VHS camcorder?
Yes.
And you're standing in the middle of the field, and you say to me, "What can I do to mess with these guys?" And I said, "Take the camera and turn it upside down." And you did. You filmed all of the mains upside down. I had pictures of them in their hotel room, standing on their heads trying to watch it.
You know, that doesn't sound like anything I would do, Tony. I don't know why you would bring up such a thing. I would never do something like that. Can
Right?
I just tell you, yesterday I filled Perry Kramer, PK Ripper. Yesterday I filled his tailpipe of his truck with talcum powder. So I don't know what, you know. We were all, there were a bunch of bike sales reps in the parking lot of a bike shop, and so I just filled his tailpipe full of powder, and then told him he had to come out and start his truck he had to move his truck so I could leave. Which, you know, the big cloud came out and everybody laughed. So yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do anything like that.
Yeah, no, you pulled no pranks in your entire life, I'm sure.
Just took everything so serious.
Yes, absolutely. Well, so how did you get started in BMX? What brought you in?
You know what? It was just all my friends. We all rode BMX bikes in our neighborhood in the dirt. I happened to live in a neighborhood that was host to several BMX pros in my neighborhood. And,
wow.
Yeah, we were just we were in the Mecca. We didn't know it at the time, but we were in the BMX Mecca. And so what happened was, you know, the Schwinn Stingray that I had got the handlebars taken off and motorcycle bars put on, and we started riding in the dirt. And then what doing that came, the next thing came our junior high school had a BMX racing program, much like NICA is today.
Wow.
We decided, the school district decided that all of the junior high schools in our area were going to race each other. And the PE coach actually said, "Hey, you guys, since you're not showing up on time for PE in the morning because you're out riding your bikes, we're going to have a BMX team." And so I started racing on the junior high school BMX team.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. Did they provide bikes?
No. We all showed up with whatever we had. Guys on Stingrays with football helmets on, and you just came as you are, and there was no beginner, novice, expert. You raced by your grade. So all the 6th graders, all the 7th graders, and all the 8th graders just raced by grade. And there was one guy from our neighborhood named Lee Medlin, who was
I remember him.
Yeah, Lee Medlin, Factory GT, Factory Kuwahara, world champion. He was in 6th grade, and he smoked everybody so bad that they made him race against the 8th graders, and he still smoked everybody. It was fantastic. He was the only guy that was doing 2-pedal starts at the time, so it was great. But That's how I started into BMX, was just out jumping in the field on my Stingray, and then started racing because of junior high school.
Wow.
Who knew that it would lead to traveling all over the world promoting BMX, racing as a pro, providing something for my family, and then leading into a job in the bike industry, and still as a track operator today, running BMX and still racing every now and then.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got Dirty Fest now, which is such a great event.
Wow, thank you, man. We call it the ultimate BMX family reunion. It is. Yeah, it's 3,500 of your favorite friends out there just having the time of their life for the entire weekend. It's the first weekend of June every year. People now look forward to it. I already, they ask me about it all year long. It's been great. It's been fantastic.
It's such a fun time. I mean, having side hacks and just all the other fun stuff that you do. And I run into you there every year, and I get to say like 2 words to you because you're so busy.
Well, I didn't know we were understaffed until we get going. Then we realize we're understaffed, and every year it keeps growing by such big numbers that we as much as we think we grow with it, we're still behind because of the popularity of it, and because of people like you that have such a great time. They tell everyone else, and next thing you know, like, we're planning for 5,000 this year. So that's
fantastic.
Yeah, it is fantastic. It is fantastic, and it's. By Sunday afternoon, your face hurts from laughing and smiling, and just have the best time.
That's great. I mean, you guys put together such a great event. And by the way, if the listeners are interested, when is it next year?
June 5, 6, 7 in Temecula, California, at the Vail Lake KOA Campground. Just go to dirtyfest.com. It'll answer all your questions. And if you have any questions beyond that, just call Tony. He'll tell you.
There we go.
It is a great time.
Absolutely. Well, I'll be there next year for sure. And then you, Eric, and James run the Dirty Knobs podcast, which is also great.
Well, thanks for that, bud. Our Dirty Knobs podcast was really, the idea was to be the marketing arm for our event. And we always knew we were going to do an event. And so the podcast has just been a huge bonus. It is James Vicente, my best friend, and Eric Carter, my little brother, if you will. The 3 of us do that. And then for Dirty Fest, we have Justin Shepard as our production manager. So we're all BMXers just doing what we love and sharing the love to everybody else. And so far, so good, man. We're just having a great time doing it.
Yeah. Well, I got to witness live one of your interviews when Eddie was in the background making barnyard noises.
Let me tell you, we just have, like I said, it's really for our entertainment. This ended up, our podcast, we ended up doing it, like I said, it was just going to be a marketing arm. How do we get people to know about our event? But we found out that when we get on and do a podcast, it'll last for hours, because even after the guests leave, we stay on and just laugh and tell stories. And it's just like when people try to say, when they ask me, how do I describe Dirty Fest? It's the same as the way I describe dirty knobs. Can you imagine you're in your garage with your buddies and you're working on a bike and somebody drops a tool or makes a mistake and everyone just makes fun of you and everyone's just laughing and having a great time? Imagine that with 3,500 of your best friends in your garage doing it.
Absolutely.
That's what we do. That's what our podcast is too. Same thing. It's sitting in the pits in 1985, sitting in the pits, making fun of things. It's the exact same thing. Telling the stories that we can't tell or didn't tell back then.
There we go. Yeah. That's great. All right, shifting gears. How did you find out about RAD and how did you get involved? How did you get, how were you cast for that?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I got a call from BMX Action Magazine asking me if I wanted to be part of this movie RAD. As soon as I heard it, I thought, heck yeah, I want to do that. I didn't even know it was in Calgary. I just knew the answer was, your name's Hollywood. Do you want to be in a movie? Heck yeah, I want to be in a movie. So I looked at my schedule and I had a conflict. So I had to call my sponsor, Hutch. And I said, Hutch, listen, I know I'm supposed to go, out of the country for this during this time, but there's this movie they're going to shoot and I want to do it. And he was like, you're supposed to go over here and promote BMX. I go, yeah, but Hutch, I want to be in a movie. It'll be cool. And Hutch said, if you can believe this, he said, listen, if you go over here and you promote bikes, we're going to have bike sales and it's going to generate business and it's going to promote BMX. If you go and do that movie, nobody's even going to know about it. And within a year, it'll be totally forgotten. Here we are 40 years later. And every week of my life, it's something about RAD.
Well, but it tanked in the theaters. I mean, I saw it once the first week it came out and couldn't see it a second time because it was gone in a couple of days.
Yeah, same. My hometown, I think I bought 25 tickets and took my family and my friends there. I was giving tickets to anyone to come watch it. We watched it on, I think it was Friday night, and it came out and we watched it. And the next day it was gone. It didn't make it over the weekend. Was the 25 people that you had with you, was that the only people in the theater? No, I think there were about 30. I think there were maybe 5 or 6 real ticket buyers. No, yeah, and even though we were, like I said, we came from BMX Mecca, it was not sold out. But it was for us, it was fun, except for my dad. When I walked, in leaving the theater, my dad turned to me and said, Mijo, why'd you crash so much? I had to explain to him why.
Well, let's talk about that, because you did 2 crashes in the movie. The one off the backside of the berm and then the one off of the jump going back up onto the deck of Hell Track.
Yeah, what's really funny is like most things in that movie, they were not shot in that order. They were shot in the order of me going over the berm first, but in the movie that happens second. So it's really funny how the whole movie business works. That people are.
Were you landing on pads or boxes?
I'll get there. So what's really funny about shooting the movie was that people are freaked out when I tell them no one ever rode a whole lap on the track ever.
Right.
But when you see it as an entire race, it's not reality. I was lucky enough to get the ear of the director, Hal Needham, who was a stunt, he was the legend in the stunt world.
Yeah.
And so when I found out that Jose Yanez was getting the money he was getting to do every time he did a flip, he got paid. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get me some of that cash. So I saddled the very first day of shooting. I saddled right up to the Hal Needham and walked right up to his chair and said, "Hey, Mr. Needham, what would be really cool is if someone flew off of that berm and wrecked, because that's what happens in races." And he was like, "Yeah, okay, we can do that." And I said, "Well, listen, I can do that for you for X amount of dollars." And he was like, "All right, well, I'll tell the guys and we'll shoot it right now." I said, "Okay." So I thought, they're probably going to fill up an airbag or something. I don't know how to do it. And I saw them all they were doing was folding up cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I go, okay, well, all right. I guess it's safe. And Tony, I'll tell you, as a professional BMX racer, you spend your whole life, and as a rider, you spend your whole life not crashing. I swear to you, that was the first time ever I tried to crash on purpose, and it's not easy. And now when I'm sure that every professional stuntman looks at that and goes, "Oh my God, that looks so fake." But it was fun. I got to do it, and as soon as I landed, you just fall into cardboard boxes, over, just over a berm. It's no big deal. I wasn't hurt or anything. I just got right out, and and they clapped. That was the best part. Everybody clapped.
Oh, nice.
For me, that was it. I'd do it 100 times for free. So,
well, how many times did you do each one of those falls?
Well, once. You go, yeah, we got it.
Yeah,
it's done. We got it.
That's awesome.
Well, of course, do you want another take? You want another take? Because you get paid every single time. And he goes, no, we got it. So
I don't know, darn it.
Yeah, a week and a half later, when we went to do the cliffhanger, jump up there, I immediately went to Mr. Needham and said, "Hey, Mr. Needham." Now, by this time, he knew who I was because he'd yelled at me so many times for being good. I got caught doing practical jokes and whatnot and ended up delaying a couple of shots because I was goofing off so much. So he turns to me and goes, "What is it, Hollywood?" I said, "Hey, it'd be cool. Someone didn't make it all the way up to the top and fell all the way down." And he looked at me and just laughed. He goes, "How much is that going to cost me?" So I gave him my number, and those boys went right back to building those cardboard boxes all over again.
That's so great.
3 stories down into cardboard boxes, and I came out of that. I came out of the boxes, and I just went right to him. "Hey, you want another take?" He goes, "No, we got it, Hollywood. We got it."
What did you think when you first saw the starting gate and the starting hill?
Well, first of all, when we first got there and we got out of the van, it was freezing cold. It was freezing. So what I thought was, well, are we going to wait a month or so for this to warm up for us to be able to ride? Then I walked out onto the dirt, and it was mush. It was basically frozen dirt. And I thought, wow, again, we're going to wait a couple weeks for this to dry out. What's going to happen here? And then you looked over and you saw that gigantic wall. And you thought, oh, that's cool. That's a nice banner. That's a big banner. That's pretty cool. I had no idea that anyone had any intention of riding down that. And then when I heard that, you went over and you looked at the transition. And the transition, the first time I saw the transition, it was like a kink. I said, there's no way. So we piled dirt against it to make a transition a little bit better. But it was, again, frozen, mushy dirt.
And it was pretty abrupt, wasn't it?
Very abrupt. Very abrupt. So you imagine if you're coming down this super steep, long into mush, you can imagine what your front wheel would do the first time you did it. And so nobody would do it. And there were a couple of us that were up there, and we actually drug a car tire up there and tried to roll it down and see what would happen. The first time it did, it made a huge dent in the mush. So I was like, man, there's no way. There's no way we're going down this thing. And then, it took days and days and days of guys being up there looking down, peering over, and nobody would do it. So finally, I think it was Beetle Krantz was the first guy to do it. He just rolled up and rolled down, and we were like, oh my gosh, well, if he did it, we all had to do it.
Because he was like 16, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was one of the youngest guys there. I mean, no problem. Just rolled right in. I guess he didn't know to be scared. He just went for it and did it. And I'll tell you what the other thing is, when you look at the beginning, when they are announcing all the racers, right, on the top of the hill, they're announcing all the races one by one. There's a lot of names and a lot of people. And then when they switch to show everyone riding down, it's not nearly as many people.
Right.
Not everybody went over. Not everyone went down hill track.
Okay.
It just intimidated a lot of guys.
Was it? Did they have to reconstruct it at all for you guys?
No. Well, all we did was add a little bit more dirt. They added a little bit more dirt to the transition. That was it.
Okay. What was it? 25 feet tall and 70 degrees?
I think it was 75 feet tall and 90 degrees.
It's probably what it looked like.
It was scary. I tell you what, it looked tall from the bottom looking up, and it was even taller from the top looking down. And it was one of those things where you had to get all the way to the edge to peer over because it was so steep. And, for BMX, the racer guys, they're not used to that. They weren't used to that. Fortunately, I had been working at Woodward Camp all that time, so I got to, I got to be around freestylers, and I loved jumping is jumping. I don't care if it's a quarter pipe, half pipe, it's jumping. So I had a little bit of experience on ramps, so it wasn't as intimidating to me, but it was still scary. The first time was really scary. But well, like I said, once Rosecrans did it, we all had to do it. That's how I felt about it anyway.
Well, yeah. And he wasn't even a racer.
No, he was a ramp rider. He did a lot of Gale Webb shows. Don't get me wrong, he was a super talented rider.
Yeah,
not a racer, but a super talented rider. And in that case, going down that thing, he was the smarter one of all of us. He just did it. Didn't hesitate. Didn't peer down. He just went and did it. And once the ice was broken, then not everybody did it, but a lot of guys did.
Very cool. Very cool. What was it like being on set? I mean, was it like groups of people that the BMXers stuck together, or the actors stuck together, or was there a lot of mingling?
No mingling. The BMXers, I mean, we were more of the, we were not the talent. We were the stunt guys. We were just like a specialized group of experts. So of extras. So we all kind of hung together off to the side, and even amongst us, we some guys would hang out more with others, but if you're ever involved in motion pictures, it's a lot of sitting around.
Yeah,
there's a lot of sitting around. When they would film one straightaway and one turn, and then they'd say cut, and you do it again and again and again, the same straightaway like 5-6 times, and then they'd say cut. And then they break the cameras down, and it takes 2 hours. So for 2 hours, you're doing nothing. And for a practical joker like me, that's just time for entertainment, man. I was just entertaining. And again, I was just entertaining myself, making myself laugh by doing whatever. I took somebody's bike completely apart and put the sprocket on the other side. So the sprocket and the wheel was on the opposite side. When you pedal, it would just freewheel. Just out of sheer boredom. Just sheer boredom. It was fun. Good times. But being on set, you don't realize it. You don't realize what you're doing or how it matters or how it falls in. And it's not shot at the beginning of the race to the end of the race. You're just filming, and you don't know how it's going to go together. And every day they had these. It was called dailies. Every day you would go at the end, if you wanted to, you could sit in the room and see what they filmed that day. There'd be no sound, but you would see what would film. And because it's out of sequence, when you're watching it, it doesn't make any sense. We just watch and laugh at each other's, somebody's wrecking or whatever. That was the fun part of it.
That's very cool. Did you go on to do any other stunt work or anything after that?
No, I continued on with the BMX racing career, and then went into the bike industry. I never chased it, even though I lived, in Los Angeles and could have, just was not. I was fixated on trying to be a BMX pro.
Well, you did that really well, and
I don't know about that. I don't know about really well, but I had a great time doing it.
That's the important part, right?
Yeah.
So I still remember you coming by the BMX Plus offices. Who were you repping? Vision?
Yeah, it was Vision Streetwear.
Yeah, and you'd roll up in that fantastic Honda Accord, and whip out your you take Carl and I out for lunch, and whip out your Louis Vuitton wallet.
Dude, it was probably fake. It was probably from.
So it was a Larry Vuitton.
Yeah, it was a Larry Vuitton. It was a Louis Vuitton. I just remember, I loved going to the offices. I loved because you guys had, I got to see pictures that weren't in the magazines yet, or the stuff that you didn't put in. I loved that. All the cool stuff laying around on your desks. It was, going to High Torque was awesome. Plus, if I got to see any motocross stuff or anything else in there, mountain bike stuff, it was always cool to go by the office.
Yeah, fun times. So, what are you doing now? I mean, besides Dirty Fest and Dirty Knobs.
Nothing. No, just hanging around. I have about 15 jobs. First and foremost, I'm a husband and a father. So that's number one. Besides that, I work for Marin Bikes as a sales rep. So I've still worked in the bike industry. I think this marks like 45 years in the bike industry. I am a BMX track operator. I run a local BMX track here in Arizona, northern Arizona. I also have a podcast. So I do not only do we record, I do all the post production myself.
Cool. Yeah,
event promoter with our production company, the Dirty Knobs. Dirty Knobs Productions. We do. That's not the only event we do. We do a few other ones now, and we're growing that. So, about it. That's about it.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's great. I'm looking at all the great stuff you've got behind you. You have the bike that you rode in RAD, don't you?
Let me tell you this. This is so awesome. All this stuff has come back to me. When I started the podcast, I hung one jersey right there, a CW jersey right there. And that's all that I had. I kept no memorabilia. I kept nothing. I'd given everything I had away. I'd give it to all the local kids or at the local track. I just didn't keep anything. Didn't know it was going to be of any value. And I was not nostalgic about it. Didn't know I needed to be. And then later on, as I started the podcast, someone said, JV said, "Hey, you know what? You left this Hutch helmet at my parents' house." And so he sent it back to me. Eric Carter said, "Hey, you know what? I still have one of your jerseys." And he sent my jersey back to me. All of this you see behind me was mine, and it's all come back to me from friends sending it back to me. Friends and family and fans sending it back to me. Or very cool stuff I found along the way that was, part of my BMX history. Up here on my left, you can't see it, but up here on my left is the cover of each magazine I was on. And I didn't realize until I started doing it, collecting them, how many covers I had. It was incredible.
Wow.
I've got two more to collect. One is a BMX Plus. I've got two more I don't have that I need to get. The search continues.
I can tell you that it's probably in a folder at High Torque right now. You should ask John about that.
You're kidding me. It's funny.
No, they've got a collection of every one ever made.
I was going to post today. I was going to make a post today show a picture of what I put in the office here, and ask, hey, if anyone wants, I'm willing to buy it and pay for freight, pay for shipping. But I'd like to get these two magazines that I don't have that I was on the cover of, just because I think it'd be really cool. And someday, somebody, a grandchild or a great grandchild, might find this interesting. So I'd like to have it.
Well, they're going to be looking at a print magazine, going, "What is this?
What's this word magazine mean?" But for me, I have stacks and stacks of old magazines. I love looking at them.
Yeah.
Love
I think most of us do, and I mean it's part of the history, part of the nostalgia, which is I think why this movie has done so well. Since it came out on VHS and everything else. I mean, what did Hutch say about the movie after it started taking off with the VHS copies?
By then he was on to other things. Hutch had gone out of business and wasn't a big thing for him. Today it's twice as big as it ever was back then, so it's great. And I'll tell you what, it's like I said, a week in my life doesn't go by where somehow the movie RAD gets interjected back into my life, and I love it. My kids, who happen to be practical jokers as well, they love.
Where did they get that?
I have no idea where that came from, but they'll put RAD on and pause it when I'm out of the room, or I just come home, and as soon as I walk in, they'll hit play and it'll be blaring loud, and they think it's hilarious. They think it's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, well, it is an important part of my life. And I'm very proud of it. Which wasn't
you should be.
Yeah, well, thanks. I appreciate it. It's fun to be recognized as part of it, and And you're right. It's so nostalgic, and it brings back such a great time in our lives, just like the magazines do. It's just that time that we, what we concentrated on back then was having fun. We weren't serious about, our careers or what have you, or just the most fun time in your life. So you think back of that. And for me today, thinking about RAD brings back that same sentiment, man. It's just having fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thanks, Mike. I mean, this has been a lot of fun. It's always good talking to you. This is the most I think I've talked to you in 30 years.
Well, when you see me at Dirty Fest, if I'm not running past you holding gas cans or trying to bring a raffle prize to somebody, stop me. Tony, I've always loved you, man. We've always had a great relationship, and it doesn't matter if it's 2 years, 10 years, or 100 years, or 2 minutes. Man, I just love talking to you.
Yeah, same here. It's always fun to run into you. It's always fun to see you out there, and I don't mind that you have no time for me at Dirty Fest because you have time. You have no time for anybody because you're taking care of everybody.
Yeah, that's exactly. We're there to make sure that everybody else has a great time, which means like when James and I get to travel, or James, Eric, and I get to travel, or James and Justin, whenever we're together and we're anywhere, we have the best time because we're not trying to please everyone else. We're soaking it in ourselves.
Right.
We know how great it is. We know how great that feeling is. So we want to make sure that everybody else gets it.
Very cool. All right.
The brotherhood of BMX, man. It keeps on. It keeps on.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mike. And I'll probably have you on again sometime in the future.
Anytime, Tony. And listen, and if you don't want to record it, don't record it. Just call me and we'll hang out, man. Love it.
Okay. You got it.
Yeah,
you got it.
Hey, thanks for making it all the way to the end of this episode. Please hit that like and subscribe button and check out our other episodes.